Hello, 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 everybody. Good evening. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing good. Hey, Mama Homestead, you number one girl. All right. God bless. Hello, PG and chat. Hello, hello to you. God bless. And let's see, Australia. Wait, Australia's number two. Okay, okay. That was myself. Right? Number two, Australia. I'm just messing with you guys. And Ruby Rainmaker, you're number three. All right. God bless. Number four is D. All right. Hey, PG and Ted. Hey, hey, hey to you. Ruby Rainmaker, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Mama Homestead, number one. Australia, number two. Ruby Rainmaker, number three. And D was number four in here tonight. All right. God bless. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let me get down through here. Miss Justice 1111. How you doing tonight? Much love, PG. Much love to you, girl. You know it. And let's see. There's Brown Eyes, Sue, Shy Shy. Let's see. I'll get on down through here, y'all. Oh, they're seeking truth. Kathy, how you doing? Linda, 2 cent. Second to none. Patty, how you doing? Spread love. There's Carrie. How you doing, sweetie? And let me see on down through here. Tracy, I see you, girl. All right. All right. I think I caught everybody down through here. I caught everybody coming down through there. Pretty sure I did. Pretty sure I did. Hey, crazy retired lady. How you doing, sweetie? My three girls, how you doing? Good to see you guys in here tonight. Joy, good to see you. Beth Ann, how you doing, sweetie? How you doing? All right. Oh, there's Crystal. How you doing, sweetie? Justice for Summer Wells. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. Lisa, how you doing, hun? Hey, PG and everyone. Hey, hey, hey to you. All right. Last night, we are on the subject of 14, what Allison said, not what PG said, what Allison said, right? We are on the subject of Allison, talking about Andrew bringing 14 humans down from New York City along with a bunch of kids. This was Allison's, plainly Allison statement, not my statement, but Allison's statement that she had made, right? Early on in Summer's investigation. Nobody ever really picked up on it. And we did. We did because we've been, as I said, we were at the beginning, we was grabbing all the important stuff, right? All the big pieces to the puzzle. Now we've been going back, looking at the small pieces. I mean, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do to put the big whole puzzle together. So we've been going back and we've been trying to, kind of see, what we was in the thick of and missed while we were there. And so this was one of the things, right? This was one of the things that, we didn't really snatch on to early on because there were so many other things more important to be grabbing onto and listening to. And, you need the big pieces of the puzzle because they are the most important. But you got to go back and get the little pieces, right? To see if any of those fit into what possibly happened to Summer. And so we did. And we have been. And we're going to continue to do. And, And, you know, if that you makes Andrew spin around in his chair, then so be it, right? So be it. But I want to tell you what, last night sure got a lot of people on their toes, right? It got a lot of people on their toes. Um, got a lot of people out running off at the mouth again. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's, you know, that's awesome. That's what we want. You know, if you know, you know that you're saying something that's touching home when you have somebody, you know, when you're playing the music box, right? That's what you do. You play the music box like when you were a little kid. You know, you play the music box and then pop goes the weasel, right? That's what you do. You play the music and you see if the weasel's gonna pop. Well, it did, right? It popped right out today. Had a whole lot to say, right? Uh, and you know, it's always good to watch people when they pop like that weasel and you know come popping out, and then you kind of don't only hear a whole lot of stuff, you know, out of their own mouth, right? See how much more information you can get, but also you really learn your haters um when you watch the chat, right? When you watch the chat and the people who's in the chat, you really learn, you know, who's got your back, who don't. You know, that's an extra bonus right there. That's just an extra bonus. But, you know, Andrew popped out today and, well, he wanted to talk about me, but he had to, you know, do some really weird stuff with his cat first. You know, him and his cat had to make out um before. Right before he could talk about PG. I was like, whoa, this is just not right. That was disgusting, weird. But you know, then people are weird, right? They're weird. And yeah, he had to do that first. Which I found I found quite, you know, strange, and had to, you know, had to do some wondering about that one. But anyway, um then after he got done making out with this cat, like he acted like he wanted to do more, but you know, it was really going to get weird if he did. And so, you know, him and the cat finally broke it up, and he was able to, you know, but he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy at all, you know. It nothing. He's like, it makes me laugh. No, it didn't make you laugh. You know, you were like straight up having some issues, right? He was straight up having some issues, and I knew it. And so, you know, I was obviously knocking on the door, right, to some shit. Like I said, you know, it didn't sound right. One Penske truck and a freaking vehicle, one little vehicle, 14 people, a ton of kids. No, that didn't sound right. Yeah, he coughed up a fur ball. Right? Beautiful sunflower. That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah. That's true. I don't know. Maybe the cat was coughing them up after being around him, right? I often wonder why cats do that. Now I know. Right? Um, but yeah, you know, we must have been hitting on something real. We was getting real with it, and he knew it. He had a problem. He had a problem, right? Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true, second to none. Absolutely. Yeah. He had a real problem with it. And anyway, and then he wanted to talk a little bit about Hunter too. And then he was popping up his his preference of comments, right? He wasn't popping all of them up, right? He wasn't popping them all up because there was a few people giving him some stuff, and they were getting actually timed out and blocked by his circle of demons over there. But anyhow, he had some other people in there, and he was popping up these comments, and somebody had made a statement. Actually, I believe it was Sassy Pants, right? Lisa. And she had made a statement that, she wants to see proof about Allison and Leslie, who both came up on live and, uh, in the care of Hunter, right? Hunter was around. He was with Leslie first. Then he got sent back to Leslie, ends up on live. He goes back to Mama. She ends up on live. And he, I don't know what he did to Leslie. But I know he came home and robbed his mother for $300, right? To get a tattoo and all kinds of other things, I guess. But, Sassy Pants says, "Oh, I want to see proof." Well, you know what? Um, actually, it was Andrew. It was Andrew who first came out and said he suspected some foul play with Hunter and these two women coming up on live, right? It was Andrew that came out and let everybody know that Hunter robbed his mother for $300 to get a tattoo, right? It was Andrew that came out and was telling all of these things. So, I mean, we can supposedly he robbed his mother for 300. Absolutely. From what Andrew said, exactly. That was Andrew. He said, yeah, that's so true, Molly. Absolutely. And yeah, he talks about how he's so tight with family. Don't talk about his family, this and that. Like he's some family oriented person, but he robs his own mother for $300 to go get a tattoo, and when he was, but I knew that, Hunter wasn't going to have no respect for his mother when I seen him sitting, on the porch Chris, with Chris M. When they were sitting on the porch with Chris M. And, um, Sorry about that, you guys. Sorry. I had to stop for a minute and talk with someone. Anyhow, um, I'm going to tell you, yeah, Andrew even come out, right? He even come out and he said, just recently that, because Hunter's claiming that his girl, first was going to have twins. And then he says now she's, having a kid again. Probably triplets. I don't know. But, and he came out and said, probably bullshit, right? Probably bullshit. Hunter's always saying this stuff, I don't know. I don't know what is and what isn't. Um, you know, but I do know they all lie, right? They all lie. Through their teeth. They lie through their teeth. The ones that got some actually lie through their teeth. But anyway, it wasn't PG. It wasn't PG that said all these things. I mean, we only, can say what we hear, right? What we hear out of the horse's mouth or through the grapevine from people around them, so forth and so on, right? Witnesses and so on. We're not over here making up shit. These people are actually, but the way Andrew wanted to make it sound today was PG was saying this. And even after he heard Allison say 14 people, right? 14 people and the kids, he said, your calculation's off, PG. Your calculation's off, PG. No, my calculation ain't off. Allison's calculation's off because she was there, right? Allison's the one that's there. So if there's any calculation off, it would be from Allison. But I don't think Allison's calculation was off. I think Allison is pretty damn good about counting how many people is hanging around. And from what Allison said, she counted 14. She counted 14 adults and then a bunch of children on top of that. From what Allison was saying, right? That's, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. And then, he's like, I've explained myself so many times 3 years ago. And I'll explain myself. No, it wasn't. That's almost 4 years ago Summer came up missing. It wasn't 3 years ago. You took your ass down there, in 2020. Matter of fact, around July of 2020. Because Jose was up on that hill for about almost 2 months. For almost 2 months or more. I mean, this was a guy that got a job and he had gotten a few paychecks, right? He worked a job long enough to get more than one paycheck. And he was getting another paycheck when Grandis was getting ready to, haul him out of there. She waited because he had to pick up his last paycheck from his job. So Jose was, living in Tennessee, working a job. That's what old Jose was doing. And he was getting paychecks. And you have to, for one, you get a job. You don't immediately get a paycheck. You have to wait anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks before you get a paycheck if it's paying bi-weekly. And you have to wait 2 weeks if it's paying weekly. So, he was getting, and not only that, but he had to go look for the job, seek a job, find a job, start the job, so he was probably 2 to 3 weeks into it when he got a job. And then he was a couple more weeks before he got a paycheck. And he had, he had got a few paychecks. So this is a guy that was up there for like at least a couple months, right? He was up there for at least a couple months. The kids had done start back to school in September. Um, so they had to be up there in like July. And I think, I think that that's another thing they're lying about as well. I think, the reason you ain't seeing no receipts on a house because there isn't no house, right? They didn't. And then he says, oh, you got to have the place in contingents. He wasn't coming there to buy a house. He was coming there to rent it. I mean, contingents, you're buying a house, right? If you get a house into contingents, that means you're buying it. It doesn't, when you're going to rent a house, and you're renting. I mean, you should, you get a lease, not a continuance. You get a lease on the place, right? I mean, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about, right? I was sitting there like, what the hell's he mean? He should have got it into continuance. No, that's when you're buying a home. You should have got a freaking lease, and you said you did. You said this guy, is going to rent you this place up, and it was supposed to be ready, and you got down there, and it's supposed to be ready in 3 days, and if it really was a place, and it really was going, your ass wouldn't have been hauling it back to New York. And also, let's use some common sense here. Let's use some common sense. Common sense tells me that if you leave everything behind in New York, you bail out and you bring your ass down into Tennessee, right? You bring your ass down into Tennessee with all your shit loaded up. Per se, this is what happened. Well, you just lost everything back in New York. You got nothing to go back to, right? You don't have a damn thing to go back to. It seems to me like when they brought that, and let's get it right, Penske truck, which doesn't make a fucking difference. I don't care if it's Penske. I don't give a damn if it's U-Haul. I don't give a shit what it is. I don't care if it's, 2 men in a freaking truck. I don't give a shit. That has no bearing on none of this, because no matter what kind of truck you get, it ain't got a mother freaking back seat, right? It's going to set either 2 or 3 people at the most. Most of the time it can only have 2. And if you got baggage, like stuff you need, you're going to be piling the front of that truck as well. And it's only going to be one person able to drive it. So everybody else is going to be in the damn vehicle, right? I mean, that's the way it is. That's just how it is. And if you left all your shit behind in New York City, you bowed out on the landlord, right? You bowed out on the landlord. You ain't got no place up to go back to. You got your butt all the way down here in Tennessee. And, and here you say you turned around and you went back into New York City. Well, common sense tells me that if you turned around, went back into New York City, you didn't ever give up your other house. Common sense tells me you probably didn't pack it up either. Common sense tells me that you fucking was just going down to Tennessee to make a run and planned on going back to New York City anyway, right? Because you would be in no hurry to get back to New York City if you actually already left all your shit behind and was heading down to a new state to be living, because everything in New York City's gone now. I mean, landlord ain't letting you come back after you bailed like that, right? The landlord's already planning new people to move in. So there, you have no place to come back to. But they turn right around and go back and seem to, carry on as if they didn't ever leave. Because they didn't ever leave. They didn't ever leave. If they went down there, obviously there were some mattresses in the back of that truck with a whole lot of freaking kids and adults, right? And it sounds to me like, and they go down there, and the weird thing is they don't, they don't get no house, but they get a damn storage unit. They get a storage unit for real. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to a storage unit, why would you, if you're going back to New York City, why would you unpack a big fucking Penske truck into a U-Haul or into the storage unit? Why would you unpack this big truck into a storage unit and then for one day, for just one day, and then pack it all back up? If you're going back to New York City, you ain't going to do that. I mean, it costs more to rent a storage unit than it does to pay an extra couple of days on the damn truck, right? And the biggest thing about renting a truck is filling it up with the gas, which you're going to have to do anyway. You're going to have to do that anyway, right? It takes the same amount of gas to go from New York to Tennessee and the same amount of gas to go from Tennessee back to New York. It's, to rent a truck really ain't where the money's at. It's in that gas that you have to buy because, whatever the tank's on when you rent a truck, that's what the tank needs to be on when you take it back. So you don't get charged extra, right? Yeah. So why in the hell would you rent a storage unit that's going to cost more, going to cost you more money than just keeping the damn truck and keeping, you don't have to unload, you don't have to reload. No, there's some shady shit in all of this. I don't care what anybody says. I know where Don Wells was. I am quite aware of where Don Wells was, but okay, these people come down to 110 Ben Hill Road. Okay, say Candace did want $75,000 for that land, okay? Say she did. Okay, great. She wants $75,000, for that hellhole up there. Now, here's my thing. These people couldn't buy it. These people could not. I mean, if these people can't afford, if they're going to have to take everything they have and put it in a storage unit out of a truck because they can't afford to pay for the truck a few more days, how the hell are they going to buy a $75,000 property? If these people, we're going to come down and rent a house, they're going to rent a home, right? From someone. And it all fell through. How in the hell are they going? I mean, how are they going to buy a house when they was needing to rent one? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They wasn't down there to buy no land from Don and Candace. I mean, these people are piss ass fucking poor. They barely make ends meet, right? They can barely make ends meet. No. I mean, look what the dude's living in. Have you seen the outside of his house? Have you seen it, his community? Have you seen the inside of that place? Come on. That's like, it's close to rock bottom. I mean, it ain't rock bottom because I guess rock bottom would be a cardboard box. But it's the next thing to one, right? It's the next best thing to a cardboard box. Just saying, not trying to be mean. I'm just telling the truth, right? I mean, they're making the best out of a bad situation. And I say, the kind of areas and the neighborhoods they live in, I say the rent's probably dirt freaking cheap because nobody else wants to live there. You know, just saying. Yeah, give him a 50% discount. Right. He's going to show Don some love. That's true. I would have drove the price down, right? That would have drove the price down, maybe. I don't know. But the point being is, you know, they didn't come down there to buy Don and Candace's property. No, they didn't. They didn't come down there to buy that property. They didn't come down there, to be honest with you, if you're bringing 14 humans down into Tennessee and you're getting a storage unit, you got 14 humans and you got a bunch of kids. Now, if Allison's telling the truth, and I believe she did. I believe she did. If you got 14 humans and a bunch of kids and you rent a storage unit, what do they, I mean, put it this way. When you watch human trafficking movies, right? When you watch the movies of human trafficking, where do they hold these people? Tell me. Where do they take these people and usually hold them? Because I certainly know where they hold these people. Right? One, they either have, you know, they either have a, what they call, a safe house, which is some ran down, shitty place, some ran down, crappy place that they, in a crappy neighborhood where they come and they, hustle them in, right? Or sometimes sometimes it depends on who, it depends on, it depends on, I guess, what level of trafficking you're on. Okay. It depends on what level of trafficking you're on. Um, like the gophers. These are the people that go out to malls and they go out to, driving around, and they human traffickers, they target a few places. They target malls, they target parks, and they target, um, communities where, people might be jogging early mornings, jogging in the evening, you know, um, they drive around and survey different communities, as well. But most of the time it's the malls and parks and jogging paths and stuff like that, because that's where it's going to be heavy trafficked with people, you know, that you're able to somehow overpower and move quickly, out of there, um, move them quickly to a van or whatever. And because usually if you see someone carrying someone, from a jogging path, oh, they fell, they got, hurt themselves. Well, you don't think nothing of it. You see a guy coming out of there carrying somebody, let it be a kid or let it be a woman or whatever, and they might have hurt themselves. That's true. I mean, you're not going to get all involved. You're not going to be taking down license numbers and all of that. And for the normal person, they're not going to. People who are aware of human trafficking, yeah, they might. But for the average people, no. Um, most of the time, there ain't nobody else around. If you go to a jogging path, you'll see somebody come by on a bicycle. And then 15, 20 minutes later, you might see, a man or a woman come jogging down through there, right? And then if you wait long enough, maybe another 30 minutes or more, you might see a couple people coming down through there, right? Sometimes you'll see two of them running together. And then here comes another one, and they got their headphones in, and these people are easy targets. They're easy targets for traffickers. And malls are very easy targeting for traffickers, to get children and to get, and markets. Big outdoor markets and stuff are really good. Flea markets and things are a good place as well for traffickers to, get people, because people's looking at stuff and walking around, and they ain't keeping an eye on their kids. They're not keeping an eye on, anything. And, it's a very easy place to target people. But once you got the person, once you got them, now you got to find a place to put them, right? You got to have a place to put them. A lot of people don't like, if you ain't got a garage, if your home hasn't got a garage that you could pull up in, shut the door, and then get people out to take them into the house, then you don't want to be taking people there, because the neighbors start seeing a flow of traffic coming in and out. You're going to get reported. And you don't want that, right? You don't want that. So the best next thing is to rent a storage, or, sometimes you can work out of a warehouse, but warehouses are really hard to work out of, because they're an established business, and established, unless the warehouse is shut down, unless it's completely shut, and that's a lot of upkeep. Most people ain't going to put nobody in a warehouse due to the fact, warehouses are usually if you see some kind of operation going on in a warehouse, that's not a holding tank. That's not a holding tank, the average holding tank for trafficking. Meaning that's not a holding tank for get somebody and, put them on the market to be, to be sold off to, some high bidders. Most of the time, if it's a warehouse type thing and you see they're holding people, that is a whole new ball game. That's a whole new ball game, because see, the warehouses cost a lot of money. Warehouses, they don't rent cheap. If you're renting a warehouse, that shit ain't cheap. And most of the warehouses where this kind of stuff's going on, and they have, and they taking people there, well, that is, a different type of trafficking. That's, organs. That's organs, because that's where doctors, like some doctors can be paid off, right? Some doctors, not all, but some can be paid off, right? Allegedly paid off. I got to say allegedly. We're talking about doctors here. But they have to, doctors get paid off to, surgeons to come there and perform surgeries, right? If this person is a match for this person, then what happens is the doctor comes in and basically, does harvest, kidney or liver or whatever the other person needs. They harvest it out, and do basically some back alley surgery, kind of like abortion clinics was way back in the day, right? Back alley abortion clinics before abortions were legal. That's what's going on in warehouses. It's not like you don't take people there, that's just going to be, put on the market for, you know, for big hotels or apartment buildings that are full of, you know, or mansions who, have a bunch of people coming in and out to do the naughty no things, right? That's what I all I can say. It's you have to know how many different types of stuff there is out there, how all the different things going on, and then understand the different places that these people are kept. For the lower level, the gophers, the people who go out there and collect this teenager, or collect this young adult woman or man, or collect a child. Well, they don't take them to no warehouse. They take them into storage units. They take them into you know the garages, where they get them out and put them in basements, or put them in the upstairs of a place. The downstairs looks like it's not ever lived in, because upstairs they've got all of these people, you know um all of these people that's getting ready to be shipped out all over different places, because they're on the market, right? It's just how it is. So I find it weird. Allison says they bring 14 people down there with a bunch of kids. They only got one little Penske truck and a car. Where's all the rest of these people? Because all these people ain't going to fit in a damn Penske truck and a car. There has to be a whole lot of people in the back of this truck somewhere, right? There's got to be, at my calculation, 14. Um, I'd say they had to have been at least 8 adults or more, Now, Andrew said, I have my 2 kids with me, and somebody else had some kids with them. So Andrew, I would say Andrew, his old lady, the other person, and whoever was with them, and even Jose said he had to be in the back of that Penske truck. Remember? He said he had to be in the back of the Penske truck. So it sounds to me like the car was for a couple of people and the kids. And it sounds like the Penske truck was holding 2 adults. The car was holding 2 adults and Andrew's kids and whoever else's kids. So, we're looking at 4 adults, right? We're looking at four adults scattered over those 2 vehicles. And we're looking at 6 children scattered over those 2 vehicles. And if there's 14, then that means there's 10 adults left. And we don't know how many children. So I'm telling you, the back of that fucking truck wasn't packing no furniture if there was 14 people. The back of that truck had been hauling at least 10 adults and who knows how many kids. So, that makes more sense to why they was wanting to get a storage unit, right? It sounds like a drop off, not a pickup. It sounds to me like that was a drop off. And Jose must have not have cared much about being dropped and left there, because he probably, coming down, he probably picked up his share before he left and went up to Candace's house, right? So he had some money in his pocket. And then Andrew and all of them took a ride back into New York City, right? That's why he can't show receipts about a house. That's why he can't show no damn receipts, for a landlord. That's why, he can't show no receipts for shit, because there's no receipts to be had. Andrew didn't move. Andrew wasn't moving from New York. Andrew was making a run, right? He was making a run. And it sounds like a run with humans, not drugs. That's what it sounds like to me. I mean, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Just saying. Now, somebody brought up, I didn't, this ain't my words either. This is somebody else's words, but I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant that they thought of this. Personally, I thought it was brilliant. But someone had said, hey, PG, is it possible that Hunter was trying to take a little bit after Daddy when he tried to take that vehicle with that baby in it? Could it have been the baby he was wanting and not the vehicle when he was trying to overpower the mother? Well, yes, it could have been. Absolutely. I mean, Hunter was there. Hunter did see a lot going on when they came down into Tennessee, right? It's very possible. It's very possible. Yes. Now, what does this have to do with Summer? That's what Andrew kept saying. His trip, no matter what, the reason for his trip into Tennessee is what he was saying. So what? If it was illegal or not illegal, so what? If, I was doing something, he says. He says, what does it have to do with Summer? It has nothing to do with Summer, right? No matter what he was doing. Well, that's not true. That's not true. It could have all to do with Summer. It could have all to do with her. Because let us remember that Allison, right? It was Allison, Hunter, True. Allison was at that storage unit with herself and her kids. And Candace was at that storage unit with Grandis and her 4 kids, right? They had Summer, they had their kids there too at that storage unit. So, whatever was going on there, they all knew what the hell was going on, right? Jose, Candace, Grandis, Allison, and these kids. These kids were getting an insight on whatever the hell was going on at that storage unit as well, because they were all down there. They was, they was seeing a lot of things probably they shouldn't have seen, but they were all there. So this means that, this is a group of people. And if there was something shady going on, if there was something illegal and shady going on, then all of these people were involved. All of these people had guilty knowledge of what was going on, right? All of these people were fucking evil. They were all evil. So how does it, I mean, how could it not have something to do with what happened to Summer? That's my question. How could it not have something to do with it all? Um, Andrew has a missing neighbor named um, Kelly Sue in New York. When people were questioning it, he flipped out. Whoa, really? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, it seems like a lot of people come up missing around this group of people that happen to be hanging around that particular storage unit, right? Summer comes up missing, neighbors come up missing. Yeah, kind of weird. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You do the math. You do the math. I mean, I did it. And I'm going to tell you something. I think I'm pretty damn good at it. You do the math. 14 freaking adults and a ton of kids ain't going to fit in a Penske truck. You know, they're not going to fit in the front of a Penske truck and one little ass automobile. Like 10 of those adults, because I don't think Andrew or the other person that supposedly had some kids with them was going to be having their kids in the back of some Penske truck with the door shut down where it's going to be hard to breathe, right? They're not going to put their kids in there. Their kids are going to be in the back seat of the freaking car coming into Tennessee. And those and those adults are going to be in that car. You know, I found it kind of weird that Jose was having to ride in the back of the Penske truck, right? But somebody has to ride back there to keep everybody in line, right? It's like when law enforcement arrested you, right? It's like when they arrest you and something happens that they have to put you in an ambulance, right? They have to put you in an ambulance. Well, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you get arrested and say, some reason you need to go to the hospital. Well, did you know that law enforcement one of the officers have to get up in the back of the ambulance and ride with you to keep an eye on you? Yeah. They have to go along with you. And they have to get out when you get out, and they have to go to go through the emergency room with you, and they have to go up the elevator if you get transported into a regular room, and they have to, switch off and an officer be with you all the time. They have to babysit you if you're in the hospital under arrest. Well, that's kind of the way it is, with trafficking. Somebody has to make sure that people ain't wiggling around and trying to get untied, or trying to get, trying to do something that's going to cause a problem when that door opens back up in the back of the truck, right? Just saying. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that was what was going on. I'm just saying 14 damn people, it sure sounds like it. It just sounds like it. Because I know 14 adults and a ton of kids, the way Allison said it. I know they ain't going to fit in one Penske truck in the front and then a little car. There's no way in hell. There'd have been people on top of people on top of people. There's no way. You know, when's the last time you were able to get 14 people and a whole lot of kids inside of your freaking Pinto? When was you able to get 14 adults and a ton of kids inside your freaking, Maserati? When was you able to? I don't give a fuck what vehicle it is. This ain't no limousine. This is no limousine going down there. And I hate to say it, but I think, I'm not sure 14 adults and that many kids would fit in a limousine, to be honest with you. These people wasn't driving no bus. They wasn't driving no van. They were driving a vehicle, a regular vehicle, and a freaking Penske truck. And they're supposed to have 14 adults and a ton of kids. You tell me. You tell me. Just saying. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. Allie Mae's post. To whom it may concern, I wish people could get it through their heads that Candace had nothing to do with her little girl going missing. People amaze me. They think someone must be guilty if they are not rich. Oh my God. Must be guilty if they are not rich. Money, I'm going to tell you, there is some things, man, there is some things that, sexuality, money, race, all of these things it doesn't fucking add into the equation. It doesn't even get into the equation of any of this. I mean, I don't know who Allie Mae's post. I don't know who the fuck Allie Mae is, right? I don't know. I have no idea who Allie Mae is. But I'm going to tell you what. Allie Mae's a moron, right? A total fucking can't think past the end of Allie Mae's nose. I don't know. I don't know. I sit back in awe. I absolutely just sit back and like, what the fuck are these people thinking? Right? It amazes me. It amazes me how these people's brains work. Right? Humans. It amazes me how, sometimes you just want to, shake your head. You just want to shake your head like, what fucking planet did you come from? Right? What fucking planet did you come from? Where the hell did you get your brains? Or if you even have any? Right? Because I'm going to tell you something. This is about a 5-year-old missing little girl. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. I don't care if Summer was rich. I don't care if Summer was poor. I don't care if Summer was middle class. Summer's missing. Summer needs to be found. Summer needs to be brought home, and justice needs to be served. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. Listen, Allie Mae, you really need to listen, because I'm going to enlighten you on something here. JonBenet Ramsey was very damn rich. Very, very, very rich. And I'm going to tell you something. Everybody cared about JonBenet Ramsey. Everybody wanted justice for JonBenet Ramsey. Everybody, to this day, are still fighting to get that DNA done, to find out who did the dirty deed to this little girl who was found in her basement, right? And she's rich. She's rich. It ain't about whether she was rich or poor. It was about the fact that there is someone out there who did this to her, and they need to be found, and justice needs to be served. That's what it's about. And that goes for the same for Summer. You don't put a price tag on this. There's no price tag that can be added to this. And I'm going to tell you something about these two slobs of parents that you freaking are trying to protect. Let me tell you something about Dawn and Candace Wells. Neither one of them was putting out flyers. Neither one of them. Neither one was wanting the billboards. They wanted the money for themselves. They did not care if their daughter's found or not found. They was telling law enforcement where their daughter wasn't. And if you know where your daughter isn't, then you must know where she is, right? There you go. There you go. Okay, Allie Mae reposted this. I'm sorry, my bad, my bad, my bad. I just got informed that Allie Mae reposted what Can posted. Okay, well, when I got this sent, it says posted Allie Mae's post, so I assume she posted it. Apologies to Allie Mae. If she was not the author of this letter. Does anyone know who the author of this letter is? Do you know who the author of this letter is? Now, Can posted this, but she did not write it. So who wrote it? Does anyone know who wrote it? Did this come from Tim Mullins? Did it come from, who did this come from? Oh, okay, beautiful sunflower. Yeah, I apologize. Hey, I'm not too big to admit when I'm wrong. I'm not too big to admit when I'm wrong. That was my bad. That was my bad. When I got the email, I thought, it had posts from Allie Mae. I thought she was the author of that. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I will apologize. I'm not too big to say, hey, PG's wrong. I'm human too, right? I don't mess up often. I don't mess up often, but the one thing about me when I do, when I fuck it up, I fuck it up. Right? When I fuck up, I fuck up. I do it right. I do it right. No doubt. Can posted it. I believe it was White Boy and his old lady's big nose. Okay. Molly, that's who I think also. Okay. So I got two mods in here back to back, kind of confirming it. So I guess it must have been, I thought Tim Mullins. My bad. My bad. Okay. I've been looking for the author. I seen that post earlier. And I've been looking for the author of that particular post. And I thought, when I got the email, I thought, oh damn, okay, now I know who it was. I guess I didn't. Right? I guess Allie Mae reposted it. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. But the point being is, whoever this author of this letter is a mother freaking moron. Because I'm going to tell you now, they're taking up for 2 number 1 suspects. The Wells didn't bother when, and another thing this letter says, I took note of, is that, oh, Don and Candace Wells took lie detectors test for law enforcement. They took lie detectors test for Dr. Phil. No, that's a damn lie. That is a lie. Don and Candace Wells went to law enforcement. Don and Grandis went to law enforcement the next morning after Summer comes up missing. Candace don't go. They sent a police car up there to get Candace. Don acts like he's fallen to sleep. And they're all of them fucking freaking out and acting weird. Candace starts shaking down and, how dare you? Yeah. And she gets out of taking it. Don acts like he's falling the fuck to sleep. He gets out of taking it because they want to research it. They want to get, one of their buddies' phones, and they want to research it. They want to research, how in the hell do you pass a lie detector's test, right? How do you slow your heart rate down to pass it? I bet you if they pulled a hair out of all their heads, they all would have had the same shit in their system to try to pass that damn thing, right? I bet all of them was taking their blood pressure medication that day, right? Absolutely. On top of a whole lot of other shit to try to slow everything down to pass that bitch. And they still didn't pass. They didn't pass the first time they went to do it. They didn't pass the second time. Candace certainly didn't, because law enforcement was wanting her to come back and take another one, right? And she refused. And then her and Don totally refused to cooperate with law enforcement at all anymore. Right? They lawyered up. Ronnie Lawson said it. They lawyered up. So that's bullshit. And Don Wells wasn't going on Dr. Phil's unless there was a stipulation of no lie detectors test. That was a stipulation to going on the show. I know for a fact, because I was the one that told him that he could make that stipulation if he wanted to go on there. That if he told them beforehand, no lie detectors tested, then they wouldn't have to take any. If you tell them, yeah, I'll come on with this stipulation, then you won't have to do it. And that's the only way he was going on there. There you go, folks. And I'm the one that told him he could do that. Right? So I know for a fucking fact that he didn't take one. Because it was me, myself, that let him know that stipulation could be made, because he wasn't going to go any other way. He told me he wasn't going to go because they was going to do lie detectors tests. I told him, no, Donald, you can make a stipulation where you don't have to take one. You let them know, we'll come on, but the stipulation is no lie detectors test. And that's when he, made the deal and went. So, this person don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And that is why, they're the one doing damage to Summer's case. They're the one doing the damage because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're spewing out false bullshit that they know nothing about, right? These motherfuckers know nothing. PG, I know everything. Why do I know everything? Because I had my ass on the inside. Right? I had my ass right in there where I would know everything. Right? I would know it all. I wanted Don and Candace to go on the Dr. Phil show. I wanted them to show their asses the way they showed their asses. I tried to get Donald to freaking go on the Steve Wilkos show. I tried to push him there. I told him, I can't, I can't get no stipulations of no lie detectors test because that's what that show's about. And I told him if him and Candace really wanted to clear themselves, go to Steve Wilkos and do the lie detectors test. If Don wants all of this to go away, if he wants all of this out here to go away, go on the Steve Wilkos show and do the lie detectors test and sit down in the chair. If he gets to sit down, if his chair don't get thrown off stage and Candace's chair doesn't get thrown off stage when the lie detectors test comes back, hey, I'll be the first one to shut this. I'll shut this all down. I'll shut it all down. If they come back, they go take the lie detectors test for Steve Wilkos, and it comes out that they're both telling the truth and had nothing to do with what happened to Summer Moon Utah Wells, their 5-year-old missing daughter, hey, I'll give an apology and I'll literally I'll shut down this whole freaking YouTube channel right here. I'll shut it down. I'll take it down. Same day they do it. Same day they do it, I'll take it down. Spread the word. Spread the word to Don and Candace. Go ahead, Day Day. Spread the word to them, Day Day. Because I know you got your ass in here listening to me. You go tell them. Go to Steve Wilkos. Take the lie detectors test. If they pass and they get to sit in their chair, PG will shut this channel down. I will personally apologize to Don and Candace. I'm not too big to admit I was wrong. People try to say that I am. No, I'm not. I will personally apologize. And I will completely take this channel down. Or I'll do them one better. I'll do them one better. I'll keep this channel up. And I will fight like hell to find the real person who did whatever to Summer Moon Utah Wells. I'll keep the channel up and I will work personally. I will work personally with Don and Candace Wells. I will work personally with them to find and get all the answers for Summer. I will personally work with them. And if there's any cost to it, I'll be glad to pick up the cost. I'll pick up the cost. Tell him to do that, Day Day. Go on. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't see myself ever having to apologize. Matter of fact, I know I won't. I know for a damn fact I won't be apologizing. Because I'm going to tell you what. Those two motherfuckers, in my opinion, are guilty as fucking dog shit. You go tell them that too. They guilty as fucking hell. That's why they haven't already went on the Steve Wilkos show. That's why they ain't going nowhere. That's why they ain't cooperating with law enforcement. And that's why they're not getting their 3 boys back. And we all fucking know it. We all know it. I'm going to tell you something. PG's the only one sitting out here telling the mother freaking truth about these missing child cases. People say, oh, PG don't know about any other cases. She just knows Summers. No, I know all about Sebastian's case. I know all about Sebastian's case. I probably know more about Sebastian's case than the people talking about Sebastian's case. Because I hear them talking a whole lot of fucking bullshit and running it a ring around the fucking rosy with his case also. Right? They ain't all telling the truth about Sebastian's case. They're not all doing what needs to be done in Sebastian's case. I know all about Sebastian's case. I know all about how he disappeared, where his phone was, where his shoes was. I know everything. How mommy did the 3-hour phone call, right? I know everything. I know everything about the restaurant. I know all about all the cameras. I know all about I kept up with that case daily. Freaking daily, baby. I know everything. I know all about Bullhorn Betty and her going, getting her in trouble and all the lawsuits and all the things on her and sitting in court. PG knows it all. I know it all. But you got everybody ran to Sebastian Rogers' case. All the creators took off to that case because that case, honey attracts flies. And that's where the honey hole was. Sebastian's case came out and it became the honey hole. And all the flies went to, all the flies, which in this YouTube community, we are the flies. We are the flies. All of us in the chat, when we're in these people's chats, we are the flies. Right? We're all buzzing there to hear and see and know all of this stuff. We are the flies. And when a creator sees a honey hole that's going to attract all these flies, they run to it. And they drop every other missing child's case. Because it ain't getting the attraction anymore. It's not getting all the monies. It's not getting the super stickers, super chats, Venmo, PayPal, this, that, one thing, another. The new kid is. And what it doesn't do, it leaves people like Michael Vaughn left hanging out on the line. It leaves people like Summer Moon Utah Wells hanging on a line. It leaves all of these other children hanging on a line like Elijah Vu, who barely got any coverage at all. It leaves them all hanging out on the line. Right? Yeah, it does. There's a whole lot of hurt and pain in this world, people. There's a whole lot of hurt and pain. Matter of fact, I posted up today on Facebook, a little boy, I believe his name was Cody, and Kobe, that's what they called him, was Kobe, I believe. And anyway, this little baby boy, he did not get no recognition out here. His case didn't blow up, but he's got a grandmother. He's got a grandmother who hugs and kisses his little teddy bear urn every night. She had him put into it. She had him, put into this thing because she didn't want him to be, she didn't want him to be laid to rest in the ground and be alone. So she had him put in this little thing, little teddy bear urn. And she keeps it with her all the time. She said every night she hugs it, kisses it, tells him good night. She really loved this little grandson of hers, and the pain of this grandmother, my God. This woman's, all the misery, all the pain, and all the sorrow And here, it was, um, she was the grandmother. It was her son. It was her son, who was with the woman who had this child. And it's this grandmother that's going through all this misery and pain and suffering and all these things, because the mother of this child abused it up, and to the point it was on live. And then they have video footage of her taking the stroller and strolling this stroller with another child in it, but actually two more children were in the stroller besides the one that was on live. And she goes strolling the stroller through the parking area to a dumpster. And you could hear her throwing this baby in there. I mean, you could literally hear it on the camera, her, the thumping of this child going in there. And then she comes strolling back with only the two children in the stroller, the third one gone. And, and acts like nothing's wrong and reports the baby missing, another kind of Leilani situation, right? Another Leilani situation. But this baby got no coverage out here at all. No coverage whatsoever. Nobody really talked or even thought about it. It's all over the news. It was all over the news. It's all over everything. But nobody decided to, bring it forth. It was a cut and dry case. It was a cut and dry case, and not worth, not worth. It wasn't a honey hole. It wasn't, a big enough honey hole for to be picked up on, and that's wrong. It's absolutely positively wrong. You shouldn't do this out here. It's wrong to see Summer left behind, for everybody to run to another case, and leave Summer behind. She wasn't found. You got all these people right now saying, they're going to stick with Sebastian until Sebastian's found. They're going to do this until Sebastian's found. They're going to do that until Sebastian's found. And I'm going to tell you, you let another kid, another big case come up, and they will leave Sebastian in the dust just like they left Michael Vaughn in the dust, just like they left Summer in the dust, just like, they leave all of them other children in the fucking dust. And that's what the fuck we got going on out here. That's what we got going on out here, right? You ask me, I think that's motherfucking shitty. You want to ask me about it? It's a shitty fucking thing to do. I'm not leaving Summer in the dust. I didn't ever really cover Michael Vaughn. And if I did, he would be getting covered right now. Michael Vaughn, if I would have picked up on his case, he would have been getting covered right now along with Summer. I did not ever forget about Quentin. I picked up Quentin's case, and I'm going to tell you what, I rode Quentin's case out right to Leilani's ass, went to court, and has been sentenced. I wrote it out. I didn't leave Quentin in the dust. And I didn't run and pick up Sebastian Rogers' case because, like Michael Vaughn's case, I did not feel compelled to pick it up. If God don't put it on me to pick up a child's case, I don't. I just don't do it. I'm sorry. I have to be led. And I just wasn't led. What can I say? At least I'm honest about it. Sorry about that, you guys. But anyway, I don't know what to say. I just I do what I'm led to do. Right? Yeah. They could have covered both together. Absolutely. They could cover both together, I guess. I mean, it, yeah. I mean, I've seen some of the creators, some of them come on 2 or 3 times a day covering Sebastian, right? Sebastian. I mean, they'll be on 2 or 3 times a day. Why not cover? Why not cover? If you're going to come on 2 or 3 times a day, why not cover Summer and cover then Sebastian and cover maybe another child, right? I mean, if you're going to come, I ain't got time to be here 3 times a day. I only come on once, and and the main reason I'm even here is for Summer Moon Utah Wells. Everybody knows that, and they've known it from day one. I've always said it, I've always said it. This is Summer's channel, and, we will cover Summer, and we will cover other missing children if I'm led to cover them. I wasn't led to cover Sebastian's case, and I think it's because I don't think God led me to cover Sebastian's case because all the other creators flocked off to do that. They all flocked off to do it. Sebastian didn't need PG. Summer did. Quentin did. Right? Those were the kids that needed PG, not Sebastian. Sebastian's got plenty of people on his case. Trust me, I know. I absolutely know. I keep up with Sebastian's case. Absolutely. And sometimes I put an input on it, sometimes I do. If the Lord leads me to put, to come, if the Lord leads me to put an input on Sebastian's case, then I do. I pop it up and I put an input on it. But, I don't do anything I'm not led to do. That's just how I live my life. If I go past somebody waving a sign and God don't put it on me to give them some money, I don't. Right? But if he puts it on me, then I'm looking for money. I'm looking to see, I'm looking to see how much I got. That's just how I live my life. If it ain't if PG's feeling it. It's the Lord feeling it. If the Lord's feeling it and he makes PG feel it, then that's what I do. Just, it is what it is. Right? You ever get led? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever get led. Have you ever been led to go look at a door? You don't know why, but you go to look at the door. Maybe it's open and you're like, oh gosh. But something was leading you to go look at that door. Or have you ever been led to go look out a window and you did, and there was something going on you needed to see? That's how I live life. If I'm not led to do it, man, I don't be doing it. I got tons of stuff to do. And then, then this dirty author, whoever they was, and I do apologize to the lady I thought it was. That'll teach me to jump to conclusions, right? That'll teach me. But this dirty author also had the audacity to say, let me go down through here. Yeah. Talking about, people need to clean up their own backyard. I don't know how dirty this mother freaker's backyard is, how much fucking cleaning it needs. I mean, maybe they should get out there with the pooper scooper or what the fuck ever and pick up their shit. But I'm going to tell you something. My backyard is immaculate. I don't need to be cleaning up my backyard because it's clean. My front yard's freaking clean, right? My patio is doing real good, except for I accidentally dropped a piece of paper or something when I was coming in in off the patio earlier, but I'll pick that up and get it in a trash can, probably when I go out tonight to roll up a fatty and kick back and look up at the moon. But it'll get picked up. Point being is, my shit's clean. Because I work every day. To keep my yard and my house and all my things in order. I work every day at a job to pay my bills. I work every day, to try to get answers for missing kids. And I work every day to let my kids know that I love them to death. I think they're amazing and awesome. The sky's the limit for them. And I'm here anytime they need me. Anytime. And I work to put 3 meals on the table. I work to put snacks in their stomachs. And I work to put good clothes on their backs. And a decent roof over their heads. And I give all glory to God for giving me the health to be able to do all the things that I do. In the name of Jesus. Amen. It's just how it is. But I don't come out here and I don't bring lies and I don't bring bullshit. Don and Candace Wells couldn't pass a lie detector's test. If the fucking world was going to end tomorrow, they couldn't do it. Right? They couldn't do it. It's just the way it is. That's my opinion. If them motherfuckers would have passed the lie detector's test, they would have had that bitch already posted up. They would have had that posted up with Benny Keys. Right? Don would have already sent it to that hot ass share that was sending him, some freaking pictures that, I don't even want to talk about. Right? Pictures that PG was being accused of sending and didn't. Right? Motherfucking pictures that PG was accused of sending to Don Wells. And Shear was actually sending them to him. And if they would have passed him lie detector's test, oh, trust me. I don't know about Candace, but I know Don Wells, he would have produced his shit. He would have been like holding that mother freaker up as far up to the fucking camera as he could. Passed, right? Sure he would have. They didn't bother to take the drug rehab, the Hollywood drug rehab habilitation from Dr. Feelbilly, right? They didn't bother to take it. And I'll tell you why. They didn't bother to take it from Dr. Feelbilly. It's because their asses knew that wasn't what was needed to get the kids back. What was needed to get the kids back was them clearing their asses from being number one suspects in their daughter's disappearance. And they couldn't fucking do it. They couldn't do it. They didn't pass no fucking lie detector's test. And Ronnie Lawson came right out and said, if you don't hear it out of my mouth, don't believe it. And that's right after the news anchor, one of them news people, came out trying to say that the Wells passed the polygraph. Ronnie Lawson came out and said, if you don't hear it from me, don't believe it. Because that news anchor freaking was way off target. and Ronnie Lawson set the shit straight. Trust me. You know, I stay very close to the vest. I catch everything going on. Nothing gets past me. My God. Ronald, you are a trip. Shane out back in California because they freaking can't handle that kind of contamination. Straight up. California, man, they don't allow freaking contamination there. Obviously, Tennessee does. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, Don and Candace, for one, Don and Candace they did not want the flyers being put out. They didn't want to, they wasn't looking for Summer at all. When you have people not looking for their missing child at all, in my opinion, they know exactly where the missing child is. They know exactly what happened. I mean, why look if you already know what happened, right? And you know that is a thing. You know, that's a thing. Take a look. Take a look at Leilani. She wasn't out. She was out at the bar. She was out at the hotels. She was out everywhere, right? But she wasn't out looking for Quentin. You take the Boswell case. That mother wasn't out looking for her daughter. She wasn't out looking for her daughter. She was crying. She was crying like Candace. She was crying like Leilani, but she wasn't out looking for a damn thing, right? I'm going to tell you, these motherfuckers all carry the same fucking MOs, right? All of them. All of them. I mean, they are motherfucking cookie cuttered. Exactly what they are. That's what they are. They're all the same. They're all the same. Man, you know when somebody didn't have nothing to do with something. You know it. Because that person's all over the place. They are all over the place doing all the things that need to be being done. That's how you know. You know, they're like Michael Vaughn's mom. They're like his mother. His mother was everywhere. This woman's looking for her kid. She needs to find her child. And that's what a real mother that didn't do anything looks like, right? I'm going to tell you now. It's just my opinion. It is my opinion. And my opinion is the Wells had all to do with what happened to Summer. All to fucking do with it. I don't care what anybody says. That's just how I think. That's what I believe. And I damn don't think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. And I'll tell you, I think there's others involved. I think there's other people involved that knows a whole lot too. And they should speak up. They should speak up for this 5-year-old little missing girl. They should speak up. Do it anonymously. Do it anonymously. Make some phone calls. But speak up. And all these people kissing the Wells fucking ass, they motherfucking know it too. You know, all of these diehard don't want to admit they're fucking wrong. Wells ass kissers, right? They know the truth. They know it. You know, I don't care. Keep sucking on that Kool-Aid, right? Keep being a turd pop sucker. I don't care. I really don't care. I believe in, I believe in what Shakespeare said. Be true to thyself. Be true to yourself, man. I'm not going to sit around, I'm not going to sit around and be a freaking turd pop sucker to some whales when I know in my heart, body, mind, and soul that these son of a bitches look, act, and seem guilty as fuck. Right? That everything, that all the evidence, all the fucking evidence is pointing to them. Right? I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there, and not admit that, that I was wrong. Hey, PG was wrong. I was wrong. My gut told me these motherfuckers are shiesty bastards right at the beginning. But then I seen, this church and this church group and all this stuff, and I wanted one time the parents not to be guilty. Lord, just one time. I really didn't want these parents to be guilty. What I want and what is two different things when it comes to the Wells case. But I didn't listen to my gut. I started paying attention to my eyes and my brain. The church and all this. And I wanted these people to be innocent. So I went in to support them. Right? I stepped up to support them. Only to find out that I should have listened to my gut. I should have listened to my gut the whole time. Because all I found out is these motherfuckers was evil as hell, just like I thought they were from the beginning. Right? And I'm going to tell you something. Candace Wells, man, I'm going to tell you right now. That bitch right there, she got a demon in her that you don't even want to fucking see. And that's the truth. That woman's got a demon, man, that, wow. I'm going to tell you, she tries to bear down on that demon. She tries to bear down on it and hide it like hell. But it is there. It is there. And that bitch, when it manifests, it is fucking evil like you ain't ever seen evil in your life. And I've seen it manifest. I've seen that demon come out more than once, baby. Trust me. If I can't do anything else, I sure the hell know how to bring demons out of people, right? I sure the hell know how to rouse their demon up. I got hers to show itself. And I'm going to tell you, a few times I had to rebuke it back into her. All right. I sure did. I'm like, bitch, you got to keep that demon. I don't want that thing coming out here on me. That freaking demon, man. Whoa. I don't know who it's going to house when it ain't got her ass to house anymore. I don't know. I feel sorry for whoever it is. I'd be rebuking the hell out of it. Like, hell no. You're going to have to find you somebody else, baby. I hope that freaking demon bear, hope that ugly mug lives a long time. Oh, wow. I appreciate that, Carrie. Whoa. All right. Love you, PG. Enough is enough. This little innocent 5-year-old baby deserves the truth. I'm so sick of their empathic lies. This baby deserves so much more. Amen. Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. And they are liars. They are liars. The biggest liars I've ever seen. We could end all of this shit. We could end all of this shit right now if Don and Candace would just come out and tell the damn truth, right? If you could get those fucking demons, if you could get them demons, right? If you could get those freaking demons to run off somewhere for a minute, right? And find some holiness in these two people, you might get some answers to where this baby's at. But I'm afraid that them evil spirits has done held them two bastards up so long they ain't moving out. They ain't moving out. They're staying right there. So, getting any answers out of them, getting anything but fucking lies, you ain't gonna get nothing but that. That's what they're used to telling. I mean, Don and Candace Wells has been lying, them motherfuckers was lying probably inside the womb, right? They have been, I hate to say it, but I'm starting to wonder, if some people just ain't, I'm starting to wonder if some evil spirits just ain't born into the world like them, right? Makes me wonder. Because I'm going to tell you, they were evil fucking kids. They were evil teenagers. They were evil young adults. They was evil middle-aged adults. And they fucking evil old people, right? Like shit, it didn't get no better. It didn't get no better. I'm going to tell you something I did. There was this older person. Okay. We were at a store. There's this older person having some issues, right? And all of a sudden, this cashier asked this older person for their ID and all of this. And the older person, was stumbling around anyway, already stumbling around, maybe low blood sugar or just not feeling well, or maybe, I don't know. They were just old. And they were, and this cashier's giving this older person some hell. I need to see an ID. I decided to get into the mix of it, right? I don't know why, but I did. I got into the mix of it. I said, hey, look, you could see that this person's already stumbling around here. For one, you could have a little patience, a little kindness. Two, there's no need in treating somebody this age, like they're not fucking honest. This shit needs to quit. All of us in the world, are tired of paying for the handful of fucking criminals. We don't get prosecuted when someone, does something bad. They do. So why the fuck are we being prosecuted for them? Why the hell we got to get checked going out a door? Right? Why do we got to be treated like shit because of this? It's wrong. Give the lady some space. Give her some freaking, respect. She's doing the best she can. Okay. The lady gets her thing, calm. At this point, she's calming down some because I guess she felt she had support. I'm support. She's able to proceed and get everything taken care of, right? She got everything taken care of. And I'm next, right? Because I'm in line, I'm behind her. That's why I stepped in too. I'm behind her. And if I can be patient enough to wait, these motherfuckers can too. And anyway, she gets everything settled and all so forth and so on. And I'm next. Right? And the lady, she's like really squeezing my shit. Right? Not me. I mean my stuff on the register. She's like really manhandling my shit because she's pissed at me because I just stepped in for someone else, right? So I let her manhandle it all. I let her go ahead and bag it all. I let her do it all, right? And I told her, I forgot my fucking ID. I guess you'll have to put all that shit back. And I walked the hell out. I had my ID, I had everything, but I wasn't, for one, I wasn't going to pay for something this bitch just manhandled. Two, she gave this lady trouble over an ID, which I wouldn't have needed one, right? I wouldn't have needed one because I was paying cash. I didn't give a damn. But I decided to be a bitch to her the way she was to somebody else, and I walked the hell out. She had to ring that all up. She had to stay mad the whole time. I wasn't mad. I was laughing. I was laughing because I knew what exactly I was going to do to her at the end of it all. And I wanted to let her, when somebody else is pissed off, that don't bother me. I done got even with this bitch. I done got even with her by pissing her off and then holding her to being pissed off another fucking 15 to 20 minutes. And I didn't give a shit. I walked out. I'm like, you know what? That's for all what you just did to that old lady. And then you be manhandling my shit, being mean, trying to be mean to me. Fuck you. Right? I didn't need to spend the money anyway. I didn't need to spend that money. I was like, psh. After I thought about it for a little bit, I was like, damn, I'm glad I didn't buy that garbage. Right? Glad I didn't. I got better things to spend my money on anyway. I don't even know what the hell I was doing there. I guess I was there just for this old lady. Because I ended up getting nothing, right? But a good laugh. And that's it. I'm like, damn. But this is some of the shit PG does. This is some of the things I do, right? I don't know. Hey, I ain't getting shit for Christmas. Trust me. I ain't even getting no cold. Santa Claus ain't even going to leave me something I might be able to light up and catch maybe 5 seconds of warmth from, right? He ain't even going to leave me no cold. I promise you. I ain't getting shit. I might as well start singing now. I ain't getting nothing for Christmas. Right? Yeah. I tell you what, I got took off of Santa's list a long time ago. Right? I got took off it. I mean, I'm completely off of it. They ain't even an X where my name is. I didn't even get the X over my name. I just got my name completely banished. Right? I didn't give a shit. I was like, I don't even care. I know the real meaning of Christmas. Right? And every Christmas Eve, I make sure every Christmas Eve that I light up that fireplace, right? I make sure I light up that fireplace every Christmas Eve. I'm like, yeah, you go ahead, try to bring that big ass down here. Go right ahead, Santa. Right? As soon as I put my kids to bed, whoop, the fireplace comes on. I'm like, yeah, there won't be no red coats coming down there tonight. I always wondered if Santa's suit was fireproof. Right? And trust me, man, I've been waiting a lot of years to find out, and I haven't seen him come down that fireplace yet. I don't think it is. Sassy Pants, take Mama PG a ham. No thanks. No thanks. I'm going to tell you, every Christmas, I got to have a big turkey. I got to have me a big turkey every Christmas. Right? And then on New Year's, I make, I have apples and honey. Apples and honey. A lot of people think that it's spare ribs and sauerkraut that makes you have a prosperous year. It's not spare ribs and sauerkraut. It's actually apples and honey that make you prosper, because the Bible tells you you're not supposed to eat pork, right? You're not supposed to eat pork. If you eat pork, you're unclean. You're unclean until you take a bath and the sun goes down, right? You have to take a bath and the sun go down before you're clean again. And, so you're not supposed to be eating pork. I don't know why people would think that, pork chops and sauerkraut's going to prosper them when they ain't supposed to be eating it in the first place. All it's going to do is make you unclean, right? So, on New Year's, you should try to make lamb chops. You should try to make maybe a roast, beef, a roast, or turkey or chicken, or beef spare ribs. If you want to have spare ribs, make beef spare ribs and sauerkraut. But, stay away from the pork, right? Stay away from the pork if you want to prosper for the next year. You got to eat apples and honey. Apples and honey is what will bring you into a prosperous new year. Oh, yeah, we're going to discuss Robin Lane probably tomorrow night. But before I get out of here tonight, I want to play something. And Andrew, I hope you listen to this. I hope you listen to this, because you like to say that PG said it. PG didn't say it. Allison did.
I met Candace through my mom. My mom, Sherry. My mom met her down at the Santa train. Big thing here in Kingsport, Tennessee. Every year they have Santa coming on a train, and all the locals come to it and watch him. And, we just clicked. We're the same age. And I didn't care. It didn't bother me that her house was dirty or not. I get that when I had friendships. To me, it's how the person treats you, and And then my kids knew her before I did. They knew her
because of grandma.
Because of my mom Sharon. Yes.
How long ago was this? How long have you guys known each other? How long have you been friends?
We've known each other for about a year and a half.
Okay.
2 years. And let's see. I stopped having contact with her back in September, October. Hunter's father was moving down here from New York. Candace opened up his house to him and his 14 people that he came down with and their kids. And they decided to go back home the same day. And we kind of got stuck with Jose. Me and Jose started kicking it off. And the next thing you know, Candace was getting drunk every night and putting her moves all over him. First of all, you don't do that if you're married. Back in September, October. Hunter's father was moving down here from New York. Candace opened up his house to him and his 14 people.
There you go. There you go, Andrew. Candace opened up her house to him and his 14 people. And listen, because she's about to say, and the kids.
That he came down with and their kids.
And they came down with their kids. See, there was a bunch of 14 people. When she said 14, she's talking about adults. And then she says, and they bring in their kids, right? She's trying to justify all these children as if they belong to these 14 people. Yeah. And he's getting a storage, right? He's stopping at a storage unit. Come on, people. If that doesn't smell like freaking human trafficking, I don't know what does, right? Smells like it to me. That's all I can say. PG didn't say it. Allison did. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, everybody wants to, go at the messenger. Why don't they go to the main source that said it, right? Like the Bible. I have people come up to me, and they'll be like, you're Christian. Yeah. And, then they'll tell me, so, what they are. Well, I'm a liar. I'm going to hell, right? Or I'm this. I'm going to hell, right? Well, according to the Bible, you are. That's God's word, not mine. Why are you upset with me? You're upset with me because I choose not to be all these things so I can get into heaven. And if you're choosing to be all of these things, then be mad at no one but yourself, right? Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at God. Be mad at yourself. Because you don't have to do all of these things either, right? Why are you pissed off at Christians? Because we actually read the Bible, because we actually, try to be honest and upright and upstanding and do all the things that's righteous in the sight of God so we can get our white robe and live forever? Do you think it's easy? Do you think it's easy being a Christian? You think it's easy telling the truth all the time? Do you think it's easy to, not steal, to not lie, to not, sometimes you want to be like running people off the road and stuff, right? But you don't. You don't, because it's not the thing to be doing. You got to obey the law. You got to obey God. Sometimes you want to put your foot in somebody's ass, right? But you don't, because it's not the right thing to do. I mean, the point being is, it's not easy to be a Christian. Actually, it's hard. I've been on both sides of the fence, baby. I've been over there in the cesspool of hell. I've been over there with the liars and the cheats and the, and all the bullshit. And I'm going to tell you what, it was easy getting up every day. It was an easy peasy fucking life. You got up, you didn't give a shit about nothing. You didn't give a shit about no fucking body. You got up, it's all about you. It's all about your ass. Fuck everybody else, right? I've been there. But I had to change. I had to change because that ain't the way to be. That's no way to be. I'm going to tell you. And it's hard. It's hard being on the other side of the fence where you care about everyone, where you're working for everybody and not yourself. When you're not thinking about you, but you're thinking about everybody else. You're doing everything for everybody else, right? When you're telling the truth, when you're, when you're trying to lead other people to live a good life, because you know how great it is. It's not easy. I'm going to tell you, it's hard. It's hard getting up every day. It's hard getting up and living, a life where you're afraid to screw up because you're going to make God mad. It's not easy doing that because you have to endure a lot of bullshit by a lot of people, right? You got to put up with a lot, and you got to try your best to keep yourself in check all the time. And that's not an easy task. I'm going to tell you, that's why it says you win that white robe. Baby, I'm going to tell you what, you sure did win it. You worked for it. But being evil, it's no work being evil. Trust me. There's no work to being evil. That's why, so many people's going to be in hell. Because people are lazy. Humans are lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to work to get that white robe. They want to just, do what the hell they want to do, feel how they want to feel, live how they want to live. And then when they're in Hades, act like they can't figure out how they got there. Right? Oh, God's mean. God is mean. I'm sitting in Hades. And God's so mean because what did I ever really do? I lied and I stole and I did. But everybody else was overlooking it. Why couldn't God? Because God's not going to overlook it. God's not your mama, right? God's not your mama. He's your daddy. And daddies don't overlook things like mamas do. Trust me. God said you better be good, and by God, you better be good. That's just it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, that's the thing that Andrew did. Andrew wanted to try to shift it, the PG saying it. The PG's the problem. No, Andrew, you're the problem. You're the problem because Allison told on you and your 14 people and all these kids. And you had a truck and a car way too small to be packing, hauling all the shit you said you had. Plus all these people. So, and you don't come to Tennessee to a new house that ain't there and then able to go back to New York to something you've done gave away. There's no way in hell. It don't work like that. You can't, you would have been in limbo. You would have been in limbo. No place to go back to and no place to go. That's where you'd have been, in limbo. But you weren't in limbo. You can't show receipts on the house you didn't get, but you can show plenty of receipts on the one you had before and you went back to, and I think you've always been at, right? There's some shady shit happening. I don't care what he has to say. Yeah, I remember that song. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Andrews. They'll always sit down, they're messing around with nothing but a whole lot of fools. All right. You guys want to hear the second course of that? I heard that song, Molly. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Andrews. They'll drive them big trucks. Act like they're having no luck. Right? There's the big truck. He's heading down to Tennessee, baby. Here he comes. Bring it on, Andrew. Bring it on. He got the mother load this time, right? He's packing the mother load today. Oh, look at that. The dog, bunch of cats, all these, all these people. Then I heard he came back, right? He came back down to pick up his boy. Oh crap. He's taking Hunter back home along with all of his garbage. Right? That's a lot of garbage right there, Andrew. Whole lot of garbage. Let me see there. Oh my goodness. Tries to take a car and a girl in one bag. Right? And fights another girl in the middle of the road, another bag. Oh yeah, looky there. He's having a set of twins, a set of triplets. Leslie gone, Allison gone. Them bags are getting heavy, baby. And they're stacking up. Right? Got a whole lot of baggage there when you take Hunter back. Right? Oh shit. My God. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. You sure can rattle, you sure can rattle the cage of these people, can't you? That's one thing this channel's good at. One thing we are good at, and that's rattling people's cages. we don't have to poke them. Right? We just rattle the cage. They get them angry. Oh shit. Yeah, Andrew wasn't showing up. He wasn't showing up for this party because he knows the truth. He knows how he knows how pissed off he was today, right? He wasn't laughing. Andrew wasn't laughing at all. He was crying. He's like that F and PG. I hear that quite a bit. I'm going to tell you something. Tomorrow night, God willing, we'll be here. And tomorrow night, there is so much, right, in Summer's case to talk about. I'm going to tell you, this case, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, there is so much surrounding this child's case of being missing. And I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to tell you right now. Hunter, absolutely, positively knows a lot more than he's telling. He knows a lot more than he's telling. And Daddy knows he knows a lot more than he's telling. I'm going to tell you what, Andrew came out so fast to protect his son's ass. Let me tell you, behind the scenes, Andrew's been telling that boy one thing for sure. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Because that is, the mentality level of people like Andrew. That's the mentality level of people like him. People, evil people. And I've been around a lot of them. They're these people that crawl out from underneath rocks. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those motherfuckers that look like they came out from under a rock. I'm going to tell you something about these cesspool people. Their motto is, snitches get, and I don't think I need to tell you guys the rest. You already know it. Keep your mouth shut. Right? A code of silence. You want to protect and save your ass. Keep your mouth shut. Plead the fifth, baby. I'm going to tell you something. You know how to plead the fifth before you fucking knew how to walk when you live in a cesspool of hell. And people that live there know what I'm talking about. You learn real quick that you don't tell shit. Or you'll wish you didn't, right? You'll wish you didn't. Or at least they'll try to scare you into believing you shouldn't. And I'm going to tell you, evil's always there to protect you. That's one thing I can say about evil. It's you always have those people, got your back. They got your back. Them hardcore, they want to make sure you go to hell. So they're going to protect you in your evil doings and, and you protect them in their evil doings. And, it's just the way the evil world works. Everybody protecting everybody. If you go down alone. It's just how it is. But righteousness protects you even more so. God says, look, I protect you from evil. You don't need any other type of, when you're righteous, you don't need any protection because you're not doing anything evil. When you're righteous, you just need protection against the evil. Because that's who evil tries to do bad things to. It's the righteous people. And here's the one thing I've always took note of in the evil world. When evil's doing evil to evil, they usually don't have any problems. But the minute that evil tries to do something really bad to righteousness, that's when they have a real problem. That's usually when they get busted, is when they mess with one of God's children. God will bring them down. Somehow, some way, they'll get brought down. It's just what it is. Bad. It seems like bad befalls them. They have the worst luck. If you're an evil human being and you do something evil to someone righteous, man, it seems like it comes back to get you. Right? It comes to get you. I've always took note of that. But as long as you're, doing bad to people who aren't protected by God, people who have their eyes just as shut as you do, well, you're pretty safe. Everything's going good. You're up on your game, as they say. And I think that, I think whoever did this this summer, I think they're really paying the price. We may not know it. What I'm saying is we might not know it. But I think whoever did this, I think God's putting a lot on them. And I don't think they're living, I don't think they're up on their game. I don't think they're living as good as you think they're living. I think they probably have been put through a whole lot of hell. What I'm saying is, God has a way of whooping the hell out of people without us seeing it. Right? I mean, infections hitting their body, sickness hitting their body, brokenness hitting their body, right? No money, don't know where shit's coming from. They're just having bad days all the freaking time, right? And they're trying to hide that shit. They're trying to hide it. And their luck is going to get worse and worse and worse. It'll get even worse. God will keep measuring it up and pouring it out upon them. They're not living no easy peasy right now. Trust and believe me. They're not. No one could do such a dirty deed and be living easy peasy. But there's a lot that you guys, there's a lot I want to bring to the table over the next few days. A whole lot, I want to bring out here for you guys to hear, for you guys to see, for you guys to make your own judgments upon. I'm not telling anyone out here how to think. You don't have to think like me. I'm out here giving you all the pieces of the puzzle, bringing everything to the table, for you to, my opinion could be your opinion. My opinion might not be your opinion. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't ever want, I'm not out here to lead nobody anywhere except to heaven, right? The only place I want to lead any of you is onto the righteous path. That's it. The only place I want to lead you is to the church, to the altar, right? I just want to lead you into the arms of Jesus Christ. I want to lead you into the kingdom of heaven one day. That's where I'm trying to lead you, is on a righteous path. I tell you guys, don't go to other channels, sticking up for PG. I don't need that. I don't want none of you guys doing no bad, nowhere, for no reason. I want you to stick with God Almighty, stick with this little girl, pray for her, view the facts, have your own opinions about what you believe truly happened, and stay on the righteous path. Be true to yourself, be true to God. You're not supposed to be being true to PG or any other person, no, any other human on the earth. You got to be true to you and God. That's it. I want you all to be who you are. I love you for who you are. And I know Summer would love you for who you are as well. And I know God loves you for who you are. And so does Jesus Christ. And that's the way all humans should love you. Every human should love you for who you are. Right? That's just the way it is. And if they can't love you for who you are, then to hell with them. To hell with them. You don't need them in your life anyway. You know, you should not ever let no one try to live. If they only love you because they can live your life how they want to, they can, you know, they're living your life by telling you, getting you to live how they want you to live, and that's the only way they love you, then they don't love you at all. They love using you. That's what they love. They love using you. When someone loves you, you know, just because, you know, they can use you, that's not love. Real love is when somebody, you know, no, they don't care what you can do for them or can't do for them. They don't care if you agree with them or don't agree with them. They just love who you are, right? They love that you don't agree with them. You know, that's what they love about you, that you don't agree with them half the time, that you got your own opinions, right? That you're a strong human being with your own life and your own way of living, and you love who you are. And that's what, you know, should make a person love you, is you being you. But there's a lot of people out there, you know, that act like they love you when you're doing everything they want you to do. But the minute you stop doing what they want you to do and start to do something you want to do, they get angry with you. They get mad at you. They didn't love you to begin with. They only loved, you know, being able to live your life for them. And that, you know, and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And you don't need those kind of people around you. What you need around you is people who, you know, just love you for you. You know, they love you, you know, for the imperfect human you are, right? Because ain't a damn one of us perfect. That's for sure. Hey, H. Davis, I seen you over at Skeezy's, freaking Andrews. You got a wrench over there. At Andrews. I seen you over there. I also seen Sassy Pants. Sassy Pants was over there. H. Davis was is a wrench over there, right? Am I right? One of Andrew's wrenches. Confirm that for me, please. Really, I wouldn't put that past her. Yeah, I'm right. That's right. You right. Yeah, I'm right. I knew you did. I know. H. Davis is I don't care. I don't care if she has a wrench over there. You know, I don't tell people where they can go, where they can't. That's one thing I don't do. What I do is I keep a watch. And I didn't see H talking bad about me. She was in Andrews, but she wasn't, or he or she wasn't talking bad about PG. I seen some people in there that was. Right? I seen some people in there that was. They fucking PG haters. But that's okay. You know what the funny thing is I see some of these people over there I hate PG's voice. I can't stand her voice. Yeah, you know, Curse with Curiosity. Bitch, you was in my fucking chat from day one for like freaking a long time till I kicked your ass out of here, right? I kicked your ass, give you the steel toe fucking boot. You had your ass up in here loving my fucking voice for forever and a fucking day until I got rid of your two-face ass. And then you want to sit over there talk about how you can't stand PG's voice and this and that. Talking about somebody apologize. Who in the hell gonna apologize? Your fucking flip-flop ass. I ain't apologizing. You don't owe you an apology. You owe me an apology. You're the one that freaking stuck me in the back, bitch. No, I didn't do nothing to you. And you mother freaking know it. Right? Along with another old hag that was over in there. I can't remember which one it was now, but that was another one. I believe she was a freaking a mod for me at the beginning of everything, wanting to, sit over there and talk some shit. I'm like, I gave that one a steel toe boot in the ass too, right? Because she was one of them that wanted to turn on PG for no reason at all, right? Yeah, I had some of them that went row on me, right? And then they was over there sitting talking about how they got rid of Roe. The other lady that came out against the Wells and was really, really staring a pot, if you ask me. But I liked Roe, and there was a few people that was portraying to be Roe's friend. That was, that was sticking her in the back the whole time, and to get her, channel up and took off, and they succeeded at it, right? They succeeded at getting them done. I seen them in Andrews talking about it, how they was all working together, to sabotage this creator's channel, and they did. It was Roe, and I thought, wow, what a bunch of bitches, right? I'm going to tell you what, I was taking fucking names. Don't think I wasn't, because I got a couple of them in here. I was taking names. So I, fair warning, because I know you asses are in here. I got my fucking eye on you too. Trust me. I don't like people like that. I don't like people like that. And I tell you what, you fuck up in here, you're going to get a steel toe boot in the ass so fast. That's what you're going to get. You ain't going to get Summer's channel. What you're going to get is a steel toe boot in the ass right the hell out of here. And you'll be blocked. You'll be in PG hell for eternity. So don't think you're going to come over here and contemplate and fuck off and do no stupid shit. Because it ain't going to happen on this channel. Just like giving you the heads fucking up. There you go. There you go. I know who you are. She was for Summer. And I'm highly pissed that they would do that to her. But I tell you what, there's two people in here. There's two people amongst us right now. There's two people. One really bad. We got a fucking Judas Priest in here, baby. Trust me. And I know exactly who it is. And we got another one. We got another one as well. We got two of them. We got a couple Judases in here. I seen that shit going down today. Yeah. I'm going to tell you, you ain't too smart. You're not, smart as you think. That's for damn sure. You better get up fucking early and don't even go to bed at all. And you still ain't going to outsmart me. I'm one brilliant bitch. Trust and believe that. I've been around the block a few times, baby. They shit. These people, they ain't seen half of what I have or know half of what I know. Trust and believe me. Where I come from, yeah, they ain't no outsmarting me. I spent my life being smart. Yeah, H ain't one of them. I just put that out right now. H Davis is not one of them. We got two in here. H is not one. I didn't see H doing anything. H is a mod. But from what I seen, what I observed today, H was unbiased, was not, was not taking no sides to nobody, period. Like Beautiful Sunflower. Beautiful Sunflower mods for many channels. She mods for many channels. She mods for our channel. And she's not biased. I like that. I like people like that. I like people that can be everywhere and anywhere and not be judgmental. Be judgmental, on the creators. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whose chat they're in. They're respectful to everybody. And Beautiful Sunflower absolutely is like that. But she got prosecuted. She got prosecuted, by a very evil person. She got prosecuted by him. And I seen the other day, because when you get a membership, a free membership in the chat, it pops up, who all gets them. And Beautiful Sunflower had gotten one in this Evil Humans, in this Evil Humans channel. And then all the people in the chat went fucking row and started talking a bunch of shit and, about who's in the bushes and, just made a big scene about it, right? And I was thinking, what fucking assholes are you? For one, Beautiful Sunflower is one of the best mods that channel ever had. And that channel's so ignorant, it should have kept her, but it didn't, and that was their loss. Everybody else's gain. And, that's all I can say about it. That's all I can say about it. I love Beautiful Sunflower. She's like, me and her don't always agree, but we agree to disagree. And, just like the, all the ladies in here and, the guys, all of them, she's my sister. She's my sister, just like everybody else in here. I know I get called Mama PG, but, we're all God's children. We're all God's children. And we're all sisters and brothers, whether we like it or not. In Christ, we are all sisters and brothers, right? It's just the way it is. And, anytime you go to the Lord and, and through Jesus Christ, anyone that's, saved, their eyes are open, you're all family. You're all brothers and sisters now. That's your true family. Your true family is everyone who is a part of the body of Christ. That's your real family. And Beautiful Sunflower, that's my sister right there. I love her. I really do. And she's a good person. But I'm going to head out of here for the night, you guys. I want to tell you, please keep those prayers going up for Summer Moon Utah Wells. Please keep oh, hold on a second here. Oh, Sullivan, I appreciate that. Super sticker. All right. And Tiger Mom, member for 2 months. Love you, PG. Summer Wells. And let me see. And Carrie, I want to say thank you. Thank you again for the support for Summer's channel. I appreciate everybody that I try to go back and look now to make sure that I acknowledge all the people supporting Summer's channel, because sometimes I know I miss you. You know, I miss you as the chat's flying through. And I try to go back so I can acknowledge everyone and let you know how much PG appreciates the support that you give at this channel. I appreciate each and every last one of you that, you know, are here supporting Summer, the here supporting her channel and helping out with, you know, all the things it takes to keep it running. And God bless. I so appreciate it. But please keep the prayers going up for her, because I know if I don't know anything else in this world, I know that heaven and hell is real. And I know that when you pray through Jesus Christ, God hears you. And I know God answers prayers. Jesus said that when we pray, know that we've already got the answer. Whatever it was, it's already on its way. We already got it. Don't even worry about it anymore, is what Jesus told us. And you know, he ain't going to tell us no lies. The Bible's all truth. So the one thing I do know is through Jesus Christ, God does answer prayers, and our prayers are being answered. So please keep those prayers going up. God will, you know, no is an answer too. No's an answer as well. I mean, I know God ain't let Summer be found. He's got his reason. He's got his reason. But if we continue to pray and continue to pray, maybe God will decide to give us what we're praying for. Maybe he will decide to let Summer be found, brought home, and justice get served. We've got to keep faith in God. We got to keep asking if we want the answer to be yes. So let us keep them prayers going up until he does answer with a yes and lets her be found. Let the prayers keep going up. And also keep them going up for Michael Vaughn. Keep them going up for Sebastian Rogers. And let us keep them going up for Quentin Simon, because Leilani Simon is already put in for a new trial. She's already put in for a new trial. So let us pray for Quentin as well, and that the sentencing that's already been sentenced, or maybe a better one, like life with no parole, ends up being gotten for Quentin Simon. Right? So let us keep sending the prayers up for him too, because what happened to him was very evil. What happened to Summer, very evil. Whatever happened to Sebastian Rogers, very evil. Let us pray for these children in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I'm going to say good night. God bless. Much love. Keep the prayers going up for one another. No, PG will be praying for you. Good night, everybody.